are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Now, Cardi B, to a lot of fans, is playing chess. She will be on the next season of Drag Race, Friday, January 2nd. A fan said this is so strategic on Cardi's part. Why am I gagged? Okay. And this is obviously due to what Nicki Minaj previously has stated in regards to how she feels about certain policies that Gavin Newsom has been pushing. And as we know, she was recently on the Turning Point. I don't know if it's a podcast or, seminar, big interview with Erica Kirk. And so a lot of people are feeling like Cardi B is playing chess by aligning herself with the LGBTQ community right now. Okay. Now, even though Cardi B is going to be on the show, there was a time where Cardi B was caught saying, certain slurs that would offend the LGBTQ community. There was a time. But allegedly she has apologized for how she offended that community. But Cardi B filmed this last year. It was not recent that she filmed it. It was filmed last year. Her album was supposed to come out last year. But it is a strategic move to put it out now, considering what is going on with Nicki Minaj. I feel like that was the strategic part, but this wasn't filmed recently. And let me know how y'all feel about it. I feel like in regards to Cardi B, I feel like she always kind of aligned herself with the gay community. I don't feel like this is new. But there was a time where she was low-key dissing them, but when you're a female rapper and your fans are part of that community, you're always going to get backlash if you're not on their side. So that's why Cardi B went from saying slurs to aligning herself with them. Okay. It was a chess move for Cardi B. So let me know how y'all feel about it. A lot of people feel like she is, getting her revenge or getting her lick back at Nicki Minaj. Now, moving on from that, Megan Thee Stallion is asking the Florida judge to reinstate the jury's defamation verdict after her claim was thrown out due to missed pre-suit notice required under the Florida law. Megan Thee Stallion's legal team argues the notice was not required because Milagro should not be considered as a media defendant. However, during the trial, Megan's team asked the jury to decide whether Milagro qualified as a media defendant. The jury said yes, which legally triggered the notice requirement and wiped out the defamation claim. Now, after the outcome, Megan's team says the jury should never have decided media status in the first place and wants the judge to restore the original verdict. As it stands, Megan was awarded $59,000 in damages on the remaining claims. Okay, so let me know how y'all feel about it. It seems as though she's not happy with the verdict for the defamation part of the case. Okay, because Milagro is considered media, so therefore she should have gotten a cease and desist, which she never did, and that is the main reason why the defamation case was thrown out. Not only that, though, Tory has accused Megan Thee Stallion of committing $118,000 insurance fraud. Wow, that is kind of crazy. So, Tory says there are many issues with the evidence presented at his trial for the shooting of the Megan Thee Stallion case. Tory and his legal team have filed new court documents alleging that there were 60 errors in the medical findings presented in trial regarding the 2020 shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. But it also was reported, amongst other complaints, that a $118,000 insurance claim for the foot surgery, according to TMZ. The rapper teams find that bill ridiculous, considering the procedure lasted less than a minute. On top of that, they claim they can't even find the surgeon, Dr. Little. He previously failed to testify during the trial as well. Okay. So now Tory is trying to say that Megan committed insurance fraud. Oh no. It's about to get uglier than Ken Botch Barbie. It's about to get uglier than Cardi B's original face. Not insurance fraud. Devil Nation is not going to be happy about this. They not going to be happy about this, because if she committed insurance fraud, that means Devil Nation was in on it because she was signed to them. She still is signed to them for management, but that means they would know about the insurance fraud. And insurance fraud's illegal. So, hopefully Megan did not commit insurance fraud. I'm sure she did not need no $118,000. Megan makes way more than that. She don't sell more than that, but I think she makes from her brand deals at least, a few million per year. So I don't know if she needs $118,000. I hope Megan Thee Stallion did not commit insurance fraud for no false foot injury. Okay, hopefully Megan Thee Stallion got the receipts. But where are the bullets? Remember, they was looking for that. So I think they need to find that, and that will prove if she really committed the fraud or not. Because that's what they was trying to get, the fragments out of her foot. So we need the receipts on that. Now, moving on from that, it seems as though a lot of people are coming out trying to expose Nicki Minaj. Now, a producer has recently came out and said this about Nicki Minaj.
Finally tell my Mariah and Nicki Minaj story from backstage at American Idol in 2013. I was there covering the sudden death round of American Idol, which was happening in Las Vegas. We were supposed to get the judges right as soon as the show ended backstage in this little area, but we all know Mariah doesn't do bad lighting. So they were like, you're going to do Mariah's interview in her suite. So we do the first couple of interviews. It's Randy Jackson, Keith Urban. So it's Keith Urban. And while we're interviewing Keith, Nicki walks in the room and she goes, Nicki doesn't wait. And she walks out. So we didn't get an interview with her. We go to Mariah's suite and there is like a rig of lighting set up for her. And I was not doing the interview. I was the producer. So I'm telling the reporter who's doing the interview, like, okay, these are the most important questions. You have this much time, all that kind of stuff. So first of all, Mariah's publicist comes up and she's like, can you not ask too much about American Idol? Like, Mariah's not really feeling it. I took a picture of her and the reporter, and here is me showing Mariah that picture, so I at least have a screenshot that proves I was in the room, and I promise you all of this is true. So I go up to Mariah and I say, Mariah, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this interview and not saying things like Nicki doesn't wait and walking away. And she turns her head and she goes, she did not say that to you. And I go, oh yeah, she did. None for Nicki Minaj. And Mariah goes, Mean Girls reference. And look, I am a huge Mariah fan, but I also was a really big Nicki Minaj fan. But like when you're around these people and you see how they treat the people around them, you are privy to the way that they act when the cameras aren't on. So I had to share that with Mariah. So at one point during the episode, one of the girls sings and Nicki Minaj tells her, like, this is paraphrasing, but like, you're wearing a bad wig. So Mariah goes to me backstage after I said the first thing. She goes, how dare she come for that contestant for wearing a bad wig? Her life is a bad wig. And I went, oh my God, Mariah, well, they're all from Party City. So how, Mariah does a full turn and goes, oh, I know you didn't just say Party City, but we love everybody. And I went, no, we don't. But I knew you were going to say that.
And then Andy Cohen decided to sneakily diss Nicki Minaj. He responded to a post where Andy Cohen years ago asked, the Queen of Christmas, if she could say 3 nice things about Nicki Minaj, because obviously they were together on American Idol and they did a collaboration together. And Mariah, of course, said, can you? And Andy Cohen actually at the time said, yeah, he could. And then Mariah Carey was like, okay, name 3 things nice about Nicki Minaj. But the point of the matter is, Andy Cohen responded and said that Mariah knew. Okay, so I guess he's trying to shade Nicki Minaj. And then it only gets a little bit more weird because now Ra Ali, she tweeted, not a devil, the devil, TikTok, TikTok, okay, whatever that means. Then she reposted J-Ho's tweet of a snake and an eye emoji. And then I believe J-Ho responded to a comment that said Anaconda, which is the name of Nicki Minaj's song. But we don't know if they're really coming after Nicki. This could be, just a coincidence. We don't really know if they're coming after Nicki, but I feel like it's a lot of coincidences happening. Okay, first Andy, Ra says something, J-Ho tweets. Is a lot going on. Okay, so let me know how y'all feel about it. Do you feel like the industry is going to be dissing Nicki Minaj publicly again like they did back in 2018? Well, they never really stopped. But I think because of Nicki Minaj's current stance, I think a lot of celebrities, influencers, people in the public, even regular people will feel more inclined to publicly diss Nicki Minaj. I think it's going to go back to how, randomly you would see like Mariah Lynn say something about Nicki. I'm like, bitch, who the fuck is you? Who the fuck is Mariah Lynn? Okay. I know she was on Love and Hip Hop, but I'm like, bitch, you're not even relevant. But you're going to see more people now that Nicki Minaj has this current stance with, that administration. People are going to be publicly dissing her because it's going to be easy. You know what I'm saying? And they don't care about the backlash from Barbs because the general public going to be writing for them. Okay, so I definitely feel like that's going to be happening. Now, moving on from that, as we know, King Dumbass Combs decided to subliminally threaten, well, not even subliminally, openly threaten 50 Cent. A week ago, he said, on my dad, if I ever see 50 Cent, I'll slap the F out of him. 50 Cent has now responded a whole week later, like, you a little late. But he said, lil bro, first close your damn mouth when you take pictures. I've been rich 3 different times, sold records, sold shows, sold liquor, sold power. You still living off Wi-Fi and legacy. Relax. Okay, so let me know how y'all feel about it. In my opinion, I don't think King Combs is going to do nothing when he see 50 Cent. And also, I feel like King Combs, it doesn't really make sense for you to want to slap 50 Cent because he did a documentary. Shouldn't you want to slap your no good daddy for committing the crimes? But the sons be in on the crimes. I believe Justin, King Combs, not so much Quincy, but I think he knows about the crimes, but I don't think he be in on it. But I think that they all be in cahoots and they was all at the sex parties. That's just my opinion on it. That's why they feel so humiliated and embarrassed. Because let's just be honest. They was at the sex parties doing the same thing they daddy was doing. And they're just mad that they won't be able to continue the tradition and legacy. Okay? No more sex parties for the Combs. That's what is given. And that's why they mad. But don't be mad at 50 Cent. Be mad at yourself. Be mad at your father. Be mad at his mother because he probably got it from her. Be mad at the industry, but don't be mad at 50. Do I think it was smart for 50 to put out the documentary? Not really. Okay, because I do feel like the table will eventually turn on 50. Okay, karma always spins the block. But I feel like if you do the crime and you do the time, you deserve to get exposed. And that's just what it is. R. Kelly had a documentary on him. That's what happens when you are a criminal. You get exposed. But anyway, I got some very hot tea on 50 Cent and Diddy on Patreon. Link would be in description. And I hope you guys have a great day.